What's up? This is your Boy Wonder, aka Mr. Sinister. And turns out this morning show by CNN had somebody missing from it, a gentleman by the name of Don Lemon. He was missing due to a controversial, I'll put it in air quotes, controversial statement that he made with two of his co-hosts. Now, a little bit of a backstory. It doesn't seem like they like each other very much. It's like a group of cast members that was kind of like just forced together. Don Lemon is used to sort of like flying alone and doing his own thing. He's sort of too big to be, working with co-hosts in his opinion, I suppose. But yeah, it turns out he made a statement that was somewhat controversial, and that was sort of reasons why he got booted from the morning show. I'm gonna go ahead and play it, and I'll meet you guys at the end of the show, and then I'll give my little 2 cents in. So I'm grabbing this clip here from Breaking Points. They essentially just got it from YouTube, from CNN as well. And yeah, so let's dive into it.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and play it.
This whole talk about age makes me uncomfortable. I think it's the wrong road to go down. She says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
What are you talking? Wait.
That's not according to me.
Prime for what?
It depends. I mean, it's just like prime. If you look it up, if you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, and 40s. I don't necessarily.
40s. Oh, I got it.
I'm not saying I agree with that. So I think she has to be careful about saying that politicians aren't in their prime.
You need to qualify. Are you talking about prime for like childbearing, or are you talking about prime for being president?
What the facts are. Google it. Everybody at home. When is a woman in her prime? It says 20s, 30s, and 40s. And I'm just saying Nikki Haley should be careful about saying that politicians are not in their prime and they need to be in their prime when they serve, because she wouldn't be in her prime according to Google or whatever it is.
Just Google it, Emily.
Okay, so he is technically right, but he's not. He's conflating the prime of like the workforce versus the sexual market prime, which kind of like makes me think that this dude has been consuming some RP content in the back scenes, and these two young ladies actually compared him to Tate based on that statement. But I mean, dude, it's nothing surprising. Like, why is everyone shocked by this? That is the main agency. That's a woman's primary. That's when they're at their peak. So for him to say that, yes, but it's not. In terms of the workforce, that's not what they want to hear. They want to say, okay, I can excel, just in the same fashion that these men can excel at. I kind of wanted to get their take on it too, but before I do that, because basically they were attacking him for saying that a woman's primary woman is in their prime at the age of, I think he said, 20s and 30s, and then he kind of threw in the 40s just kind of to make it like a saving grace, so because you could read the room a little bit and say, okay, these girls are kind of like attacking me for that statement. Let me try to clean it up a little bit by throwing the 40s. It doesn't matter really what he says. He could have said, oh, women's prime is at I don't know, 60s, 80s, and today I don't know, whatever you want to say. They would have still found a reason to be upset, and they don't particularly like him. I've heard that in the sort of like behind the scenes, they want to get him out. The trio, they don't mix well together. Let me juxtapose that statement with something that was said by The View. This is a long time ago. The video that I was able to grab is a bit dated, so don't ratio me because of that. But this is it's similar in the sense that it's a panelist that make a very derogatory statement towards men. And I'll play it, and then I'll meet you guys at the end of the clip, okay? Here we go. Let me rewind a little bit. So again, this is a statement, a segment grabbed from The View, and we'll talk about it.
What did we put in the water filter? Men out there, brace yourselves, because we're about to go there, because this woman... We're about to go there because this woman allegedly did. According to the Orange County DA's office, Catherine Q. Becker is accused of cutting off her husband's penis with a knife, taking his penis and throwing it into the garbage disposal. She's been charged with felony torture and aggravated mayhem. Police say Becker attacked him because he filed for divorce. She's being held. She goes, that'll teach him.
Wow. That's
She is
funny.
being held in a California jail while her husband remains in the hospital.
I bet you that those prison guards are wearing one of those things that footballers wear? Those metal cups.
Oh yeah, that the athletes wear.
Yes,
the
yes.
Jock cups.
Cups, yes. I mean, I don't know the circumstances. I don't know why he filed for divorce. I don't know what was going on between them. However, I do think it's quite fabulous. I mean,
Wow.
imagine that thing whizzing around the disposal. It's like hysterical. But however, I think I would have just, depending on why she cut it off. I mean, it does depend on the reasons why.
Does it?
Depends on the reason.
Yeah, standards. That's just a reason. I'll think of one. I would have just thrown it in the dog's bowl.
Throwing it in the dog's bowl.
Why does the dog have to suffer?
Why does the dog have to suffer?
Bowl.
Well, remember the Lorena Bobbitt, the Bobbitt case
Yeah.
where
Love her.
she kind of did that first.
I like candles by her picture.
You know Bobbitt? Well, at least she didn't put it in the garbage disposal. So they went and they found it in a field somewhere, and they were able to reattach it. But once you put it in the garbage disposal, I guess there's no reattaching that thing.
And also, it's like, was she like, oh, I cut it up, but that's not enough. I'm going to throw it in the garbage disposal.
And then turn it
She
on.
wasn't satisfied by just cutting it off. So, you know.
I don't know that there's anything that my husband could do to make me that mad, though.
Oh, I can think of some.
Really?
All right, I'm gonna cut it off there. It's truly like despicable, statements that, like, could you imagine if the roles were reversed and it's a panelist of men sitting there and talking about how they're going to, I don't want to say anything crazy here on YouTube, but if they were to talked about cutting off parts of women and putting it in garbage disposal, and having the crowd of people laugh and being promoted by a huge outlet like this, like, it's a crazy clown world show we're living in right now. It's just madness, and it goes to show with the other CNN clip, like, there's no. Okay, I get it. I'm not pure for the whole cancel culture thing. I think everyone should have a right to, speak and be honest and speak their own opinions. I don't want anyone out here getting canceled. But to promote this sort of egregious behavior and then to shame Don Lemon, which, again, I'm not a huge fan of this guy, Don Lemon. I'm not a huge fan of CNN and all that. But if he is going to lose his job and consequently lose his livelihood because he said that a woman's prime is not in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, which I don't think is a terrible thing to say. That's his opinion, more or less. I don't agree with it to the most part because this is based on how they're able to do their job, and I think the discussion that they're having earlier was in terms of like running for president. So presidential candidates tend to even run on the older side. So I don't know. The biggest argument here is how one is perfectly acceptable with absolutely no backlash, and then the other one is met with such harsh contempt. I did want to also take a look at maybe these ladies' response to it, and then I'll read some of the comments. I like to take a look at the comments so I can get an idea of what the normies sort of think about things, because you got to get out of your little bubble sometimes.
It's facts. I googled it and I can't find anything. I don't know what goes on in Don Lemon's brain.
It's in like consuming too much Andrew Tate content. I don't know.
Imagine. It is
Hanging
good.
out with Leonardo DiCaprio too much.
That's not funny either.
Honestly, though, it is good to know Don Lemon is still capable of making great television because I could watch it all day. If I had made the mistake of tuning into CNN that morning, I would be like, is the show like this every morning? Like, should I
Right.
start watching CNN again?
Well, I mean, that show is terrible, except for the underlying drama of how much the three anchors clearly
Yeah.
despise each other.
Yes,
I
and
mean, I think the women seem to like each other fine, but
like both the women hate him. He definitely hates, especially Caitlin Collins.
Yeah.
Like, there's reports about how they've had
All right, I think
off-air,
that's enough of
like,
that.
you know.
That's enough that I can handle right now. All right, let's see. Imagine a journalist telling you to Google when you ask him. Okay, fair point, because he's a journalist. He's supposed to know his shit. Two prime women and their anchors cheering. So it's more like a feel good Kool-Aid type of thing. It's like, oh, we're in our prime, blah blah blah. Dude. More Emily and Crystal, please. Let's see Sagar and Ryan together. Blah blah blah. For Lemon to say. Okay, it was a weird thing for Lemon to say. It's almost like he wants to get. Oh man. Okay, how is that like a blatant call to be fired though? Like that. See, this is why you gotta. And this is a dude too. This is a dude who's making I'm not gonna go on his page or whatever. I don't want to, like, you know, dox the man or whatever. But you know, it's a dude saying that he got 120 upvotes. I'm sure the replies are just supporting. I'm convinced he does. See, yeah, I'm sure the replies are all supporting his, you know, his statement or whatever. I'm not gonna bore you guys with the details. Crystal and Emily are dynamics, and I don't know. Okay, can I just say that Emily that Colin host is the best combo okay, so the rest of them was kind of just like pandering to the girl's statement. Dude, like, any criticism, and I'll quote Pierce Morgan, I think he's the one who said this. Any criticism against women is sexist. Like, you can't tell them anything. You can't even voice your own opinion. It comes to a point where you say anything that's, you know, slightly negative towards women, and you're going to lose your job, livelihood, everything. So, you know, it's a crazy world we live in. Like, again, I'm all for equality. You know, if I was to see a situation where, you know, like I said, panelists of men are out here saying things like cutting up women's anatomy, I will be the top comment saying, yo, you guys gotta, you know, tighten up. Why are you saying, you know, crazy things like this? But what concerns me is that there's no equivalence on the other side. Like, the one side is completely unchecked. It'll have a bunch of simps that'll support it, and then the other side is like, have to walk on eggshells to make sure you don't say anything, you know, slightly critical. But anyways, I don't want this video to get too long. I just wanted to touch up on this base. And, you know, make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe button. Dude, 99% of the people watching this don't even follow me. It's crazy. I checked the analytics. And, yeah, if you can like, subscribe, you know, share the video, it's greatly appreciated, okay? All right, guys, next time.